Hello, Steve White, Steve Arts 89. Well, this episode was good until it wasn't. Episode 16, The Johnson Case. 2 more episodes left to go for the season. No idea where it's going. Okay, so the case for the episode was there was this lady who was on a jury and she was bullied out of maintaining her vote that this person was innocent. So this guy went to jail and she's been feeling bad about it for, 20 years. And she finally, after all his appeals failed, because she seemed to think they'll sort it out on appeal, it'll sort itself out. So she just sat on the fence, and when the last appeal didn't go through, she's like, yeah, no, I need to do something about this. So she approaches one of Olivia's friends, she brings the thing to her, and she takes it on, and they eventually work out that this guy, of course, didn't do it, and then they have to prove it. And fortunately, they... Olivia guilts the very handsome Asian lawyer, I can't remember his name, into helping her out. And he tests a spoon that they had saliva on that wasn't tested, and then they got, because they thought it was a relative of this lady, she had a fight with her nephew or whatever he was, the day before she was killed. And he threw a party for her, and he ended up with everything, so it looked a bit suspicious. And what it turned out to be was some random guy who was part of the catering when the party was thrown, came back and robbed the house the next day. And the saliva was his, so they matched that to his because he was tested and all that when he went to jail, I guess. So they sort all that out, and the guy gets out. And when they're actually approaching the guy, he couldn't, after all those decades of appeals, he couldn't actually. And they're like, look, we're not going to give you hope. Just... help us, and, if it looks like something's going to come out of this, we'll let you know. And it wasn't looking good for a while, but eventually, they won, and they basically got him out. And I think she was also suing for the people, because the jury foreman or whatever absolutely bullied her and, did bizarre things, like he took away her seat and wouldn't let her sit down and all this sort of stuff, and all this stuff to make her change the decision. So they won out, and all that's fine. Now, on the other side of things, Maggie did some really horrible shit this episode. She threatened the documents lady's dog, and I'm like, I know she's not going to hurt her, but she didn't know that. She's threatening her dog, for God's sakes. And then she manages to end up with the dog, and then fakes a kidnapping, and eventually they get from her that the day the files were taken, there was a fire alarm or fire drill, and all the doors were open. And at the time that happened, Olivia was in court, and there's a public transcript, so they know it wasn't Olivia. So finally, it's like it wasn't Olivia, because they've got this great friendship. And there were moments where they thought Olivia was going to leave because she wasn't getting partnership, because they felt as great as a job she did on the case. She took down, one of those big corporate people that, they love because lawyers like to make money. So there was talk that she was looking at a public, a district. I can't remember the term of the people who basically don't get paid anything and actually help, innocent people. But she wasn't taking that. And everything's looking good, and I'm like, oh wow, it's really, we finally got some answers to this, and I'm glad, because I didn't like the whole Olivia, is it her, not her sort of thing. And then Maddie's, talking to her husband on the bus, blah blah, and she gets off, and there's Olivia, and she's like, you need me to come back to the office, what's happening? And she's like, basically, I know who you are, bitch. And they showed all these little things to show that she was actually suspicious of Maddie the whole time. And there were a couple of moments where you thought she was suspicious, but then Maddie seemed to get out of it. Little Maddie Matlock. But no. So she was doing a whole bunch of things, and she worked out, she found out who the sister was, a whole bunch of stuff. And then she's like, I know who you are. Or I know that you're, who are you, Maddie Matlock? I know you're not. Who? So it's like, okay, if Olivia isn't the one who stole it and her husband was, maybe Olivia, considering the direction she's going in her career, will actually help her now at this point. Now they know who did it and what they did and so forth. So, but then again, that's throwing her husband under the bus. But then again, if her husband did the wrong thing, and oops, maybe she'll get full custody. So she's kind of got a dog in that race. So who knows what's going to happen. But it was a good episode. But I was so happy that, her and Olivia were good. I'm like, I just want something happy. I want good things to happen. Good people to win. And it's like, great. They had to throw that in at the last minute. And I'm like, okay. I'm going to go. Feel free to share, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think. 2 episodes to go. What's going to happen? Are they going to have a season 2? I don't know. Bye.